Coming up next on Access Framingham TV, a cruise along the west coast of Africa from Cape Town to Casablanca on Travels with Jack with our special guest, Dr. Nadia Rodberg. Stay tuned. Welcome to Travels with Jack. I'm your host, Jack Barron, and I always remind our audience, if you'd like to be a guest, please contact Access Framingham TV and let them know you'd like to share with us your experiences regarding a trip. You can talk about the transportation, the flight, the hotels, the shopping, the good food, the people you met, any of those kind of things that you'd like to share with your friends and neighbors in our Access Framingham TV audience. And today, I am very excited. Of course, all our guests are terrific, but we have a outstanding world traveler. She's just sharing with us today one trip, which is through Africa, and that is Nadia Rodberg, Dr. Nadia Rodberg, who is a Framingham resident. She is an internist at Southborough Medical. She is happily married some 43 years. She's laughing when I said happily. To her husband, Roman, who's an engineer. And she came to the United States from Kiev in 1979. For those of you who are historically interested, Brezhnev, and if you know that name, you're as old as I am, was the leader of the Soviet Union. For those of you who are young, Russia was part of the Soviet Union, which included places like the Ukraine, where Kiev is, along with many other countries. And we were lucky enough, our associate producer, Shirley Danker, convinced Nadia to be our guest today. And Nadia and her husband are living the American dream. They live in Framingham. They travel all over the world. And thank you so much for coming today and spending time with us. So,
thank you for having me.
Oh, my pleasure. So tell me a little bit about what we're going to see pictures of today.
Well, we're going to see African pictures mostly. We took a cruise last year, starting from Cape Town, which is the south tip of Africa, through all around western border of Africa, up to Morocco and Spain, and coming all through Western Europe up to London. And it was absolutely spectacular trip because people usually don't go in Africa. I was laughing recently on TV. Matt Lauder was in Namibia, and somebody said, "What's Namibia?" And I said, "I celebrated my last year birthday in Namibia." Which was quite an accomplishment. Lots of those countries people never heard about.
Well, there's a lot of countries in Africa, and the West Coast, of course, is interesting. Cape Town, you had to love.
It was wonderful.
Yes.
It's not the first time we were in Cape Town.
I love
and
Cape Town. Of
so
course. I hope you didn't go swimming. That water is ice cold.
No, no. But we did visit wine country in Cape Town,
yes.
And we went around Cape of Good Hope, where Indian Ocean and Atlantic Ocean comes together. It's just beautiful town, just beautiful, very livable town, very friendly town. So we did loved Cape Town.
Tell me a little bit about the ship. Was this a large ship, small ship?
Well, we do prefer small ships because in the small ships you can go out and see more. You're not, and they're also going into ports that large ships can't get into. So it was the Princess Cruises, and it was wonderful. Everything was fine. It was a small Princess Cruise.
Oh, so they did use a smaller ship for that
680
trip.
people in the ship, not including crew. So, and it was, because it was a long cruise, it was paramount that, you know, all the service was excellent and entertainment was excellent, but of course Africa was the main entertainment.
Well, I know we're going to have quite a few pictures. As soon as they begin to show them, I'm going to ask you to explain them, but you brought a few, I'll say trinkets, because I'm not sure of the legitimate name for these.
It's not trinkets, it's a souvenir.
See, I knew I said the wrong thing. Show us your souvenirs.
Well, we'll go, you know, it was last year, so most of the souvenirs,
and I'm
going to
interrupt you a second, Nadia. This is
Cape Town.
Cape Town.
This is just landing in a Cape Town, and so we will get the cornerstone, and of course this is Table Mountain and a view on the harbor. And Cape Town Port is one of the most beautiful ports in the world.
This, by the way, is a great picture because I recall Table Mountain, you could not always see the top of it. It was generally foggy. Yes.
Well, sometimes they said they have a skirt over the table, and it's clouds over the table. But this particular picture was very, very lucky to snap this. And we wanted to sail from Cape Town because many years ago we came to Sydney Port that you have on your, before when you came. And when you go to Sydney Port, it's a spectacular port, and our captain said, Sydney Port is wonderful. It's second to Cape Town Port. So that was absolutely for us a must to go to Cape Town and sail in or sailed out, and we were very lucky to do it a few times now. It was very nice.
And the people in Cape Town are lovely. Now this is Luderitz, this is already Namibia.
So after Cape Town, when we spent 2 days and really didn't see too much because we had been to Cape Town, we went to Luderitz, Namibia. And Namibia is a very small country. It used to be German. And it was founded by German, and most of the names in Namibia, it's look like all Germany. We go through some pictures. This is more African side of Namibia. It's Luderitz, and you can see beautiful dunes behind the town. It's a very, you see those dunes are protected, and actually said Matt Lauder skied on those dunes.
Oh, really? Okay.
They're really very interesting dune because sometimes you can see the ship like 600-700 feet away from water, and we were like, why ship would be in a sand? And its sands are taking up ocean and coming closer and closer. So ships that crashed many years ago ended up being not in the water, but being in the sand. It's a beautiful country.
So instead of the ocean taking over the sands, in this case, the sands are taking over the ocean.
And this is one of the very famous, it's called Walvis Beach Lagoon, and it's very famous for having incredible flamingos. And it's like a herds of flamingo all over there. It's unbelievable how many flamingos are there eating the fish. It's not really an ocean, it's lagoon in the ocean. And there's pelicans, but there's obviously lots of fish in this lagoon. It's a beautiful, beautiful lagoon called Walvis Bay. And it's a beautiful part of the country, part of Namibia.
Now, when you were in Namibia, did you have an opportunity to go to any of the local cafes or anything? Do they have German wines and German food?
They have German food all over, and if you look in future pictures, there are streets in Luderitz and another town that we went, Swakopmund, were incredibly wide. They probably could accommodate traffic like 5-lane one way and 5-lane another way because they were built by initially last century by German, and they were laid down. The towns look just like old German town last century. This is a market in Luderitz, and this is just on the street.
These are beautiful.
Just on the street, you can see the wall of cactuses.
Yes.
They're really Beautiful, beautiful
Your pictures
flowering.
are great, by the way. I don't know if
Thank
you took
you.
them or your husband.
I did. It's all my pictures.
Oh, no,
I will
clearance
take
could be.
credit. I will
Clearance
take
could be.
credit. It's really, you see the street?
I do.
It's look like an old Germany town in the 18th century or 19th century now, because it's really very well organized, and the building look like an old Bavarian style.
It does.
It's very. It's
Except
right in
with
the middle
palm
of
trees.
Africa, right? It's right in the middle of Africa. And this is the mayor palace in
Oh, looks very nice.
Swakopmund, I think. And this is Dunes.
Is
my
this,
husband.
Is this your husband?
My
Okay,
husband.
everybody, that's
My
Roman.
husband, right. He was not happy because sun was so bright, even though he's in the dark in the sunglasses. But it's a beautiful, beautiful dunes, and as you see, they're really kind of bordered. You can't go now to the dunes because they're the Namib Desert is
Yes.
the oldest desert in the world.
Oh, really? Okay.
So there's no older desert than the Namib Desert. It's a huge desert. And now more and more, I was surprised actually a couple days ago opening Travel magazine and seeing travel to Namibia. Which before, nobody really knew what Namibia is.
Now, this is still in Namibia?
No, this is crossing equator. And I just wanted to show those pictures. It was lots of fun on the ship. And this was the fourth, this is the Pirate, of course. And this is the fourth time we cross equator in different ships. But this is Neptune. In some ships, to get to certificate that you cross equator, you have to kiss the dead fish.
Oh.
I did. I don't know.
It looks to me like
and
everyone's
this people,
partying.
everybody was in lots of cream. Kitchen was emptied for all kind of creams and
So you
sugars.
had a good time on the ship
We
as
had
well.
a wonderful time, but then we got delivered certificates that you crossed the equator. So it was very funny.
That
It was
is-
very nice. It's always nice because by the third or fourth day when it's happened, and it's actually happened much longer probably, because we were in the Bay of Walvis Bay for a long time, few days before coming to next country, which was already after this, we passed kind of the whole Africa and then coming to Benin, which
Benin,
is
I'm familiar with Benin.
good. So,
And this is,
and this is just the sunset on the ship.
Okay.
It always looks spectacular. And this is, I just wanted to show the local buses, tourist buses, of course, that show the, safari kind theme.
did you get to do any safari or?
No, not on this trip.
Not
we
on
did,
this trip,
we
okay.
did safari before in
So
Kruger
let
National
me ask
Park.
you, in Namibia, obviously the town is lovely. The
Right.
dunes are
Right.
interesting. For those of you who have never taken a desert tour, sometimes you can go in the SUVs up and down
Right.
the dunes.
We did this in Jordan.
Yes, which can be exciting. Of course, it can also get a little nauseous, but you being a
Right.
doctor, you probably took a Dramamine ahead of time.
I would
did it,
manage.
and I did not take a Dramamine,
Right.
and I won't reflect with our audience, but it was...
It wasn't pleasant.
It wasn't.
No.
But other than that, what else would you recommend to see in Namibia and to do?
Well, in Namibia, it's a beautiful old country. It has all the charm of Germany and all the exotics of Africa. And we went to some factory that they were doing painting, and they were needle pointing painting. They also do all kind of shoes from the leathers. And we didn't go to any animal preserves, but they do have elephants, of course, and buffaloes and everything else.
Do they have oil, or are they a petroleum exporter?
No,
Oh,
no.
so
Western coast is not that rich in oil. It's
Nigeria,
mostly
though, I
gold.
know, has a lot of oil.
It's more right, and they're kind of smuggling it from Nigeria. Well, when we come to Benin, I show you the local gas station in Benin, which was right here.
Oh.
You see? This is the local gas station. That's how they sell gas.
This looks like my mobile station in
Right.
Southbrook.
That's how they sell gas in Benin, and you can buy any kind of quantity because most of course, people don't have cars. People have motorcycle, you see. But what I liked really in Benin, what's really just jump into you, how colorful the
Yes.
dresses are. It's incredible. It was just, look at this. It's just spectacular how they were dressed and how they carry themselves. And this is just local market. We just went through Benin and the bus. We were boarding actually boats to go to Stilts village in Benin, which is, very exotic because it's a village on a stilts.
Really?
It's right in the middle of this is the guy.
What is the history of Benin? Do you know who founded it? Was it?
Right. I wrote a little. So Benin is French, and the language is French because so many of those countries, and they are all differently. And the population speaks French, but we didn't have any trouble speaking English nowhere in Africa. Most of the people speak English.
Yep.
So this village on the stilts was spectacular, really very, very interesting, even though the poverty, of course. I took through the trip lots of pictures of children. Oh, never mind, I missed my grandchildren, of course, but it was shocking to us because we would take some candies from the ship and some that we brought, trying to give kids. You know what they were begging for?
What?
Pencils.
Really?
Pens. Everywhere, kids would gather next to the bus asking for a pen. I said, oh my God, if I knew I could bring them, 100 pens. The young girls, young boys were begging for pens. It was so pitiful just to see how they wanted to write, they wanted to draw, and they didn't have pencils.
For you coming originally from the Ukraine, which clearly, is not as wealthy an area as the United States, and now living in the United States for so many years, it's amazing how poor some of these countries are that you see in Africa and
terrible
Asia, or some of the countries.
Lots of international help. Just because we were on the cruise and we were in the ports, lots of international helps coming to Africa from all over the world.
Yes.
But still, you can see the poverty
yeah.
and the lack of just elementary hygiene. This is coming to the village on the stilts. This guy, I just thought it was so...
I do. I love the shirt. The clothing
This
is terrific.
The fields. They are separated. You see the fields?
Yep.
For fishing. And they separated pieces of the lagoon so they can fish in their own field.
Oh, in other words, they have ownership of a particular section.
Right.
Of the lagoon.
It's like agriculture, it's a water agriculture.
Oh, okay. And what were there? Well, look at this. This is
and
on the
this
stilts.
is the stilt. Those are houses on the stilts. That's how they live. The kids were very friendly, and you can see 3-4 years young child alone on a boat, just going around. They're transporting gasoline on those boats. They go shopping on those boats, and of course the houses.
A primitive Venice.
Right. Thank you. And this is wedding at the church. This is the village on the stilts. That's how they arrive on the boats. And they have even hotel in this village is on the stilts.
Really? Now let me ask you this: would you
look
recommend?
At the child.
Yep. If you were said to yourself, "I want to go to these countries," do you think a cruise ship is probably the best way to do it, or would you say there were Western hotels available?
No.
No. Okay.
No. Never mind Western hotels. We were warned ahead of time by the tour companies that buses that not necessarily will be air conditioner, and it's Africa.
Yeah.
It's Africa. It was very hot, but some of them were. But people were incredibly friendly. I think that because we went all along the coast and it was so easy for us to unload, go on a bus, see the country, and then come back and see the culture, meet some people. It was really, I thought it was the best way to travel in Africa.
So the cruise ship was very advantageous.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I was going to say, naturally, well, this is the
This
fishing.
is just the fishing. This is just the village. It's still the village with some birds eating fish. Of course, it's very, and it's kids.
Oh, aren't they cute?
His brother and sister. And kids were very good. And look at the Parisian cafeteria. It's in the University of Benin. It's just, I had to take a picture of this Parisian bistro in the streets of Benin. And this is next, after Benin, we went to Togo, and that's how people greeted us at the port. Every time ship will come, they will put up some performers and some bands, and you wake up in the morning and drums already beating, and you create this mood of Africa that is very exciting, and people are dancing. It's really extremely festive, extremely friendly. It was just absolutely beautiful. And when we came, this is the next country, which name is Togo, and Togo is famous because Togo is the original motherland of voodoos.
Oh, really? Okay.
Right. Well, it was brought in from Hawaii, and they said it was brought by first sailors from Hawaii to Togo, if you believe. But we went on a fetish market in Togo, and that's what I brought with me. This is just a real voodoo doll. You can't put any needle in it.
All right, Nadia.
You can't put any needle in it. It's wooden. But it's really what it is, how it's look like. And they were all over. There was lots of different kind of fetishes there. There was skin. There were all kind of amulets that you can wear. It was very, very interesting.
So Togo's the big voodoo country.
Togo is the voodoo country.
I know Haiti also
and
is
it's
very
also
busy with voodoo.
It's also a fisherman country, and I just thought that this is just a picture of fishing Africa. Look at the sail is so it's just a piece of material. It's just. And next we're going to see, we went to fishing village.
Oh, wow, look at these costumes.
This is when they met us, next stop in
Now, I'm assuming the cruise ship company had put together good land tours for you?
Right.
So you were on nice air-conditioned buses?
Not necessarily air-conditioned,
okay.
not necessarily air-conditioned.
But buses, and
but buses,
you go around and you
right.
saw...
And they were always kept the water in a bus, and buses, you go by buses, but you can't, you can see from the bus. But it's different when you walk the streets, or you on a boat, or you communicate with local, or you see those kids. It's spectacular, really spectacular, beautiful, beautiful places. This is how they met the ship, and almost every port they put some kind of performances. And this is kids. This is still in Togo.
Did you buy any fabrics in any of these countries?
No, in this shop I bought all the T-shirts for my grandchildren, and they're really sturdy, kind of difficult because they're hand painted with the paint.
Oh, they are all
and my kids still love those.
Oh, I can see
and
that.
And this children were, the brother was carrying the younger one, and then he put him down and he swept the floor. It was just so nice to see. Kids were everywhere in Africa. Kids were. I just think the next generation would be much better.
So you're very optimistic,
That's the fishing. That's how they...
I listen to people like you because, my sense is the media always has their own particular story they want to tell, but when you meet people who have traveled to these countries and talked to the young people, you get such a better sense of where things are going.
Of course. I think that's why we're traveling, because we wanted to see the world. And everybody always asks, so which country was the best one? What did you like the best?
They're all different.
And I said, the world.
Yeah.
The world is absolutely beautiful, spectacular, incredibly interesting place. When you just wanted to see more and more, I got to the point that I would come from the trip and somebody said, "Oh, we're going on a trip," and I got envy. Because somebody
shalt not covet.
It was interesting. So this is still voodoo market. This is one of these tales that they would sell.
These are tales of what?
Rats and
really?
all kind of lizards and everything else. They have, the skins. It's all kind. It's really, we think that it's nothing, that they're just. It's the whole science, so to speak.
There's a science of voodoo. All right.
Science of voodoo.
Attention, our audience. Please don't get confused. Nadia is not a voodoo doctor.
No.
She's a regular medical internist. I don't want anyone
Really?
to call up the
Thank you,
studio
Jack.
and tell us we're promoting a voodoo doctor. We're not promoting a voodoo doctor.
But my husband bought for $1 some kind of amulet there. I don't know, something on
Did you get good luck?
And he said, "I'm taking it to casino." He lost everything. So it really didn't work.
Right.
But look at this. This is the fishing village.
I like that.
This is the fishing village. Look at those boats. It's incredible. Those dinghies are going on the ocean for 3 months.
Oh, my God.
Look at this. They're going for 3 months in the ocean, and they bring salt with them.
Oh, and they
keep
salt the fish.
salt. They keep fish in the salt because ice. They don't have anything else. They don't have bed. They don't have
salt the
anything.
fish.
They go for 3 months.
Oh,
fish. Look at this. Fish in the ocean for 3 months and come back on the same little boat.
Now, let me ask you this. You may not have an answer because I know you probably didn't dine in the local restaurants, but do they also bake the fish in salt?
No.
Okay.
No, what they do when they come from this trip, every country that we were, man has between 4 and 6 wives.
Okay.
And when I ask why 4, they said because they can support more than 4. But men will come from fishing trip and sell the fish to the wife, to all of them.
Yeah.
And wives would go on a market and sell the fish.
Okay.
They keep the profit, and on this profit, they cook and they do everything. Men keep the money.
So, in other words, the wives are the predetermined customers for the fishermen.
Right, but they go on a market. Look at this picture.
And did you find out if the better saleswomen have more husbands?
I don't know. I don't know. Everybody in the bus always wanted to ask our guys about this wife. Why so many? Why so little? Why? But they're very strict about this. They're like, I need 4 wives. Very simple. My husband loved the idea. So this is just picture from this ship.
I have trouble paying for 1 wife. I don't know how they
I
pay
don't know.
for 4.
4.
And
So this is
a sunset photo.
I kind of like those. I always take those pictures. I just think those. And this is the next day. They greeted us again in the next port. That's why I like cruise, because you go at night, you have supper, you go take a picture of sunset, and you wake up to this.
I like to do these kind of countries on a cruise ship as well.
And you wake up to this. And just looking at the next
Now,
picture.
show me, though, this is, you also have here.
Well, this is also, it's,
there's Roman.
Okay.
But this is I believe we bought in Senegal. Okay.
And this is just local woodwork. It's not a voodoo.
Okay.
But we brought those in every size, and they also said that it's a good luck or a bad luck. It depends on the seller, whatever they wanted to tell you. But I just saw that those are very, very pretty.
They do nice craft
Nice crafted work. They also do, we will come to Ghana. I show you this from the Ghana. I have another also painting to show you. But in Ghana, they do this kind of silk bracelets. And those are very interesting bracelets.
Yes.
They carry the flag of Ghana and everything else. And so this is coming, I think, to Ghana. but this is with local guys who were guarded as. Yes, it's Ghana.
Now, Ghana was founded by which European nation?
Okay, Ghana is independent country.
Okay.
And as I grew up, I knew everything about Ghana because Soviet Union loved Ghana.
Oh.
Ghana used to be a gold coast, and it had all kind of gold for sale. It was very, very rich in gold.
Oh,
and
no
Ghana
wonder
got
Soviet Union liked it.
Of course. And Ghana got its independence. I can't tell you exactly what
That's
year,
okay.
but probably in 60s, because when we went to mausoleum in Accra, which is capital of Ghana, and out of the whole bus, only two of us could pronounce the name of the guy at the mausoleum we were looking at. His name was Kwame Nkrumah, because he was the one who gave Ghana independence by fighting with, occupants, so to speak. So this is just the pictures from the Ghana. We're coming to mausoleum. This is a woman on the street.
Now, here the outfits don't look as interesting as the other countries.
No, because we're going to the north. But
you mean as you went up further north, you found what? They were more westernized?
Well,
or?
Ghana is a big country. Ghana has a population of almost 20 million people.
Okay.
It's not as little as Benin or Togo. It's much larger country, so more civilization, more people there who are dressing kind of European way.
Yes, I noticed a distinct difference.
This is the mausoleum of Kwame Nkrumah, and his wife also buried there. It's a spectacular place. It has kind of like a water in front of it with numerous statues. This is very famous tree. You can also only see in Africa and South Spain. It's called jacaranda tree.
Oh, yes.
You probably saw this.
Isn't that funny? I was just reading a story on how in South Africa, I think this time of year, the jacaranda trees are in full bloom.
They're
and
gorgeous.
They're supposed to be magnificent. And one of the local people were complaining that they were not native to South Africa, and maybe we should cut them down.
Oh, my God.
And I said, look, what a crazy...
Those are spectacular trees, and you can see them up to...
Absolutely beautiful.
Beautiful, beautiful jacaranda trees.
Oh, I'm glad you had a picture of it.
And this is a National Theater in Accra, Ghana. I just saw that it was a good picture to show.
Now I'm seeing plenty of traffic. I'm seeing a very handsome building.
Accra is a big, and it's a big nation. It's 20 million population.
And it looks like they have a fairly active economy, because it certainly looks wealthier.
Well, Soviet Union was, the handout for years and years and years because they got independence. So that was... And this is very interesting thing. This is the local. Well, I want you to guess what it is.
Well,
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
It looks to me like it was originally a leopard.
Right.
But
you know what it is?
What?
It's a coffin. We went to coffin store, coffin shop, and they bury it. If you're rich enough and famous enough, they can get you in your surroundings. So fisherman goes here.
My, isn't that a great idea?
The air pilot goes to Ghana Airlines, and those are all coffins. And those workers go to the ranch.
Isn't
that
amazing?
And they have hundreds of different things. I just can't show you all the pictures.
I never saw
of this
anything
coffin
like this in
shop.
my life.
Right. It was very interesting. And it's just market on a street. And this is coming to Banjul, Gambia. That's my husband.
Okay.
And I tell you,
Roman is the official sign holder for each
most of the
destination.
well, because I'm taking pictures, of course. I'm busy to take pictures.
He's the guy who holds the sign.
Right,
here we are.
Right, exactly right. It's Wednesday. It must be Gambia. But
he's got two potential wives.
Of course. The women, again, here, spectacular garb on those women. I'll show you one more picture of this. And you have to understand, I took 800 pictures in each trip, and we had to read out like 650 out of it.
I love the pictures. No,
so
I
this
wish
is
we had more time. I'd see all of them. But,
right. But I have to tell you,
you're a terrific photographer.
I have to thank you. I love it.
No, we still got more time. We got more pictures.
I have to tell you about Gambia.
Yeah.
This country carries a very special meaning to me now, because I never heard about Gambia before. We never been to Gambia. We never heard about this. And we were driving around, and we were looking again and again, and the people and the children in a sightseeing, you know, monument here and something here, and then finally in the end they brought us to the war cemetery.
No, this is shoes.
This is just shoes. This is on the way still. This is kids, and I love this picture. They were so happy because we gave them candies and whatever pens I have every time. And then we went to sightseeing. This is just on the street. This will be a picture of school children as well.
This looks Asian almost.
Look at this, how they dressed. Nice kids, polite kids, dressed in uniform. It was just pleasure to see.
They look better than our kids in the schools.
Right. And this is again, this is, I just love the TV. And this is the war cemetery, Roman again. And Roman said, Nadia, why don't you come with me? And I said, you know, I saw enough war cemeteries. I'm not coming. What I'm going to see, just, you know, monuments. And he pulled me in, and he showed me this. You have to know, my maiden name is Schulman.
Oh, really? Okay.
And this was the guy who was wireless operator, who died in 1943, who were in Royal Canadian Air Force in Africa, because Gambia was under English protectorate. So, of course, they were involved in the war. And this guy that I went to Gambia to see in a cemetery, some kind of remote relative, which was, for me, was unbelievable. This is coming to Senegal. And Senegal has a king, and this is the royal guard. He was just so incredibly tall that I just couldn't, I have to take a picture. And this lady was selling dolls, so I bought a doll for my granddaughter.
Now, Senegal was also French?
It was French, and it has a king, but it's a republic. And this is the wedding in Dakar, Senegal.
Oh, you had another wedding.
And you see at the wedding, everybody, and this is the boss in Senegal. I thought it was very cute. We were taking sightseeing. This I have to tell you and show you what it is. That's what it is. I hope you can see it. This is called sand painting.
Okay.
Guys, they're collecting sand from all the deserts in Africa.
Yep.
And it's over 40 different colors of sand.
Oh.
And they stretch the material,
that?
sure.
Oh,
they stretch the material, and they put the glue on, and they paint with different colors. I have a picture how they do it. Look at how they do it.
They paint with the sand.
With the sand, they put the sand, and then they put it on the sun, and they dry it up. And this is the pictures that they have. It's very, very exciting. It was beautiful how they can paint all kind of painting with this, just with sand, because you see sand could be blue and brown and white and yellow and beige, and they just paint it with the sand.
You know,
it was very, this is my friend from Senegal.
Look how long his hair is.
I still have his business card.
Oh,
he wanted me to sell sandpapers and framing him.
Oh, look at this.
And this is a beautiful statue.
It is handsome.
Organization of African Nation, whatever it is, I don't remember exactly the name of organization. They put millions and millions together. Of course, American help was very appreciated. And they built this statue. It's a Free Africa. And it's incredible, incredible statue.
You know, it reminds me, I don't know if you've seen it, in Budapest, when you go up at the top of the hills in Budapest.
In Buda.
That Statue of Freedom, that woman. And it's a very similar look
Right.
to that.
It's just incredible monolith of the statue. It's incredible. It's huge.
It looks
and
huge.
It's built on a hill, and you can't even walk all the steps to the statue. But it's really a beautiful, beautiful statue. And all the foreign dignitaries were there. I took tons of pictures.
Again, we have the birds.
And this is birds and ocean beach. It's just, I thought it's so pretty.
Did you go swimming at all in any of these countries on the beaches?
No, but I would usually put my, if I came on the beach, I would put a hand, because I said I probably put my hand in every sea in the world, even in the Strait of Magellan. This is just Roman, and it's Dakar, Senegal on the back, because Roman said, oh, I have 3 grandsons. So he took a picture.
Now, this looks like you went to a show. Or was this on the ship?
It's on the ship.
Oh, so they brought local entertainment
Right. It's a show
onto the
on
ship.
And
Which is terrific. I love when the ships do that. It's
Right.
when you get a local show.
Right. And this is Casablanca.
Oh, okay.
And
You're now in Morocco.
Right. We came to Morocco. This is actually, it's Hassan II mosque. It's a very famous mosque in Morocco. And Casablanca is a beautiful city. This is just driving in Casablanca, trying to get to Rabat, to the capital of Morocco. And this is the royal palace. And you'll see...
Which, of course, Morocco has a French influence.
This is the royal, right. This is the royal palace.
Arab architecture was fabulous.
And the tile work is just incredible in those palaces. But we go from, this is the garden and palace. And we're going from Royal Palace, we're trying to drive to Rabat to get to Mausoleum. And this is the mausoleum of King Mohammed V, and it's a previous king of Morocco. And people usually say Rabat is not that interesting. This is just the entrance to Rabat. That Rabat is not such an interesting city. It's just the more city with European influence.
No,
but I saw that it was a spectacular, beautiful city. And Mausoleum was extremely impressive.
Now, this piece is what? This looks like a big piece.
Right. It's in front of Mausoleum.
Oh, okay.
I believe it's probably like oil lamp.
Okay.
And everything in Mausoleum signifies something. This signifies some kind of light. You'll see in the Mausoleum pictures, this is a mosque that was burned centuries ago, and they kept it. It's right next to Mausoleum. It's very, very beautiful piece of architecture. There's also columns, as you see. They're tall and some not that tall. This is from the mosque before that was built there. And this is the guard in the Mausoleum, very colorful. This is, you see those columns. It's gorgeous view. It's right on the sea. And this is the Mausoleum. You see the open book in a corner, the lights. You see this book, it's always open. It's a symbol of probably wisdom.
That's probably the Quran, no?
Probably.
Yeah.
All the flags,
look at the work.
Tile work is spectacular, fabulous. Look at the tile.
I see
This is all tile. It's not painting. It's made out of tile. It's, look at the ceiling.
And the dome.
Oh, just incredible. We kept seeing all this kind of a tile coming even to Spain, to Ceuta, to South Seville, southern Spain, all influenced by Arabic tile work. It's beautiful. It's really beautiful place.
I have to tell you a funny story. When I was in Morocco, we were going to take we took the train from Casablanca to Marrakesh. And I said to my wife, oh, this is going to be terrific. It was called the dinner train, or I thought dinner. But it was actually dinar, I guess. We got on this horrible train. It looked like a New York City subway 30 years ago.
It's about probably 4 hours train.
4 hours. They had goats on there and everything else. No dinner for Jack.
No.
And that was my memory.
The road from Casablanca to Marrakesh, as I recall, was awful. There was nothing else.
But Marrakesh I loved. I liked Morocco a lot.
Morocco is beautiful.
Yes, like when you showed that these beautiful buildings and the architecture is fabulous.
Did you go to market in Marrakesh?
We went to the market
beautiful.
and I saw the, I'll never forget, they had a tilted nut stand, when pistachios and all the fruits, and the guy's head was in the middle of the stand. And of course,
Sure.
the old market in Marrakesh dates back hundreds of years, and they have merchants there who've been doing the same family business,
Right.
making shoes or ironworks for 400 and 500 years.
Right.
So-
And I have pictures of Medina
Yes.
that we went to. This is the garden, the mausoleum, that also shows some things that were sold in those markets, not in Marrakesh, because this is our fourth time in Morocco.
Oh, you
and we
like
went
Morocco, yeah.
to Marrakesh before. This is just, this is Rabat still.
And I love the food there. We had,
You'll see.
see, my memory comes back to me. We had
That's
that
good.
delicious Tangier chicken with the roasted with
Right.
the dates of prunes.
Apricot.
Or something.
You'll see in a second.
Oh, we're going to see pictures.
We're going
I
to
always
see
get excited
pictures.
with food
Right,
pictures.
right, good. I'm glad I brought some.
It's a good thing you're not my
Again,
doctor. You pick on me.
jacaranda.
Yes.
Jacaranda. How beautiful it
Beautiful.
is. This is your
There you go.
dessert.
I
It's
see
Moroccan
macaroons,
dessert,
yep.
macaroons, and everything else. And this is the door. This is the door for local locksmiths.
Oh, okay.
So that's how they presented the door. It's an old city. And this is, I saw, just very African, very Moroccan
Very Moroccan.
picture, just like that. And this is the sea, of course.
I will also, I want to let our viewers know, I have always found Morocco, and Nadia, maybe you'll agree with me, a very safe kind of
Yes.
country.
Yes.
I never felt under pressure or duress when we were traveling there as far
No.
as, you know, safety. I always
No.
felt we were very
There's a
safe.
couple countries in the
Yes.
world. There's just policemen stopped this guy. I thought it was funny. Even in Morocco, he got a traffic violation. And you see how
He
he's
had to make his
telling?
quota.
Yeah.
He had to make his quota.
And of course, this is the famous mosque. This is like a symbol of Morocco.
Yes.
And it's a Casablanca. And you see why it's Casablanca. You know what's Casablanca in
White.
Spanish? It's a white house. Look how white house it is. This is already living Casablanca.
What surprised me,
This is
you see
Gibraltar, you know, it's from the far.
But what had surprised me in Morocco, I didn't expect it to be as agriculture as it was. I saw a lot of farming, a lot of ranching or
Right.
raising of animals. I thought it would be much more desert, like you showed us when you were in Tonga and
No, Morocco is protected by Atlas Mountains.
Yep.
So it's very fertile soil.
very fertile and good agriculture.
Even though it's still Africa, but it's very
yeah,
very
quite different than
so
sub-Saharan.
then we went. I skipped few islands that we went. We went to Madeira and we went to.
I've never been to Madeira.
Oh, beautiful,
Is this-
beautiful! I just skipped those islands because I was just
My
wanted to keep
folks
with
love
Africa.
Madeira, and I
But
have never been there.
This is the Spanish Morocco. I just wanted to give some idea how it's look, how colorful it is. Because this is, you know, you go to Spain to Ceuta, and then we drove to Medina. This is on the road to Medina. Medina is just the market. It's used to be a separate city,
Okay.
and it's had kind of like big guns there, but now it's just a market. It's just kind of boarded in by old walls, and I just wanted to see how the people will be able to see this beautiful Moroccan market.
There is, again, just a little information for our viewers. If you go to Spain, especially southern Spain, you'll see a tremendous amount of Arabic influence
course.
because they ruled Spain for many, many years
Right.
Prior to the Inquisition and all
Right.
those horrible stories. But
It's very interesting.
It is.
And it's beautiful. It's absolutely
this
beautiful.
is where these
This is
look
on the
great
way
buildings.
to Medina. Isn't it nice?
Yes.
I just saw those
I love your
birds.
pictures. If your husband
And
picks
this
on you
is-
that you're not a good photographer, tell him
I'm a good
I'm
photographer.
going to argue with him.
I know, I'm a good photographer. This is just entering to Medina. And you see the big
cannons, yep.
cannons just guarding these old walls. It's probably a few centuries old. And then we'll go to Medina, and I think that will
You
be
look
kind
like
of...
you had great weather in every single one
Well,
of
it's
these ports.
Africa.
I know, but No clouds, no rain?
This is the
marketplace.
market. The fruits and vegetables were beautiful, but people didn't want to look at the fish. It's look almost like a fish on Amazon River that we went.
Do you ever say
visiting.
to yourself, you know, do you ever grab your husband and say, I want to come back and spend a month here and
Oh yeah, some say it
go
is.
marketing and cook, or I don't know.
But for this, I have to retire.
No, don't. Shirley will beat me up if you retire.
And your own wife will beat you up too.
Now, my wife just wants to make sure I don't retire. But anyway.
You see, these ladies didn't wanted us to take picture. There's one in the hat. It's very typical Moroccan hat. They would not let us take their pictures.
They didn't want. Okay.
No, and this is just the typical market.
Yeah.
The streets are so narrow. You can reach here, and you will touch two walls.
When I see the picture, it reminds me in Morocco. I remember those very narrow alleys, and I remember the taxi couldn't even take us.
Oh yeah,
They had to take us to a certain spot and then walk us. To
No,
the
it's very
restaurant.
narrow.
Yes.
But the alley that we just saw was going to Jewish part of Market, Medina.
Oh, they had a
And-
Jewish part, really?
Right. Morocco used to have lots of Jews.
Yes.
Very little left. Now it's about 90% just Muslims. But this part was Jewish part of Medina, and Jews were tailors. And I wanted you to see what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful clothes these people are still doing. It's very few of them.
In
Look at
defense
this.
of the King of Morocco, I will put in the King of Morocco has always been very hospitable to Jewish people, and I know has welcomed
Right,
them to come
right.
back to Morocco,
Oh,
and has
absolutely.
very much reached out.
It's
to,
very safe
unlike
country.
many of the other countries,
Right.
Iraq or
right.
Egypt, where I don't
But
think
look
there
at
are
these
very
beautiful
many Jewish people
clothes
left.
in every store in the Jewish quarters of Medina. You walk. I wanted to stop in every single store.
Did
And
you buy something?
I bought some in Senegal.
Okay.
And this is our guy just show beautiful
The
silk.
stuff is beautiful.
It's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous things.
And these
And
were all,
then we
wow.
walk and jewelry.
Oh, boy.
I just wanted your viewer to see this and salivate a little bit because we all did. Spectacular jewelry, spectacular,
Wow.
because all the Western African coast is so rich in gold. So of course jewelry, and this is also old kind of Arabic culture, lots of gold. Everybody's wearing lots of gold. Not in a poor countries, of course, but anybody who is anything wear a lot of course, they warn us, no jewelry out of the ship when we're specifically wear through like poor countries. You don't
Well, they
do
told
this.
you, the ship did warn you and say, please don't wear jewelry.
Right.
Okay.
Just be careful because these people,
No, I think that's
you
good
know,
advice wherever
their
you travel.
salary may be $30 a month.
I got
And
you.
you wear this ring, and
No, I think
you
it's
know,
I
they
think
can.
it's smart business wherever you travel,
Right.
as well in the United States. I think to be cautious.
Well, you know, many years ago, I read an article in New England Journal of Medicine, of all things, that said that travelers have higher mortality. And of course, I wanted to take a look why travelers have higher mortality, because I thought maybe they get exotic disease, people don't get vaccinated on time or something. No, it's accidents.
Really?
So when you're traveling in any foreign country, when you have to be very alert and very aware of your surrounding. You really have to be careful and adapt to situation. People get to bad accidents all over the world, and I know by a few of my former patients and by ourselves. It's very, very important. The safety of travel is just to know, be aware when you're traveling, and to adapt to local tradition and culture.
I think it's a wonderful point. I think you do have to be cautious. I also always say to people when they're traveling, you know, maybe you should drink bottled water.
Right.
You know,
Right.
be
You have
careful.
to be careful.
Be careful of the food you're eating.
Right. Well, we ate piranha this spring. We ate piranha for lunch. Roman got piranha.
This
This is traditional Moroccan wedding closes. The funniest part is the lady is Russian traveler, but the guy is true Moroccan, and this is just traditional Moroccan wedding dress. This is all on the Medina. This is the shoe store. I
You've
wanted
got
to buy
quite
all
a few
that.
weddings on this cruise.
And this is man's dresses. That's how men's dress. This is the menswear store. I just thought it's, and this is
the rugs. How could we forget rugs?
Unbelievable rugs. We went to special store. Look at those colors. Those rugs are unbelievable.
I forget where I was. It might have been Egypt, but they had schools where they had the little children. They learned their classes in the morning, and they did rug weaving in the afternoon, and they liked the kids to do it because they had small hands, and they could do
it all depends how many knots.
Yes, and they could do more knots because they were young, agile
and that's
children.
why women do this.
Yes.
But this is the tile. This just in the house that we passed by. I just thought it's such a beautiful tile work. This is not.
It is.
This is my king of Morocco.
He's the king, King Roman.
Right, and this is
the
typical henna tattoo in Morocco.
Oh, these pictures are just terrific.
And thank you. Here you are. This is made of rice and some
it looks like brown sugar.
Raisin and carrots and apricots. It's just spectacular dish. Delicious. And this is vegetables.
There we go.
This is Moroccan vegetables.
You saved my favorite pictures to the end, my meals.
Good, good. Now you'll get hungry. And this is, of course, beautiful sunset. Goodbye, Africa. Look at this sunset.
Beautiful.
That's my pictures.
Nadia, I have to tell you something. The pictures are fabulous.
Thank you.
The trip sounds very exciting.
Thank you.
I just have to make sure you'll come back and be our guest again and share another trip with us.
Would be my pleasure. Would be my pleasure.
And you'll maybe, well, I don't know if we want to bring your husband. He may not let you talk as much.
Well, you know, travel is like marriage. Everybody has their own vision and their own opinion. I think that's why he was so. Because
I never heard it that they have their own vision. Okay.
Well, that's true. Two people see the same thing and they tell you different stories about the same thing. So this was my vision of Africa.
Well, I am so thrilled you shared it with us, honestly.
Thank you.
As good a pictures as anyone has ever brought us, I have to tell you.
Thank you. I have big collection, Indonesia, Bali, Komodo Island, Amazon River.
I'm going to tell our associate producer, Shirley, to get a hold of you and grab our executive director, Bill, and put some more pictures together for me, and you'll come back because
Thank you, Jack.
I loved having you share this trip with us.
But you know, the good is only good when you share it with others. So for me, it's such a privilege and such a pleasure to show this. There's no way those pictures are lying in my album and on my computer. They're not doing any good to anybody. But when you show it to your friends or your family or audience, it's such a wonderful pleasure to share it with friends. So really thank you very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much. We'll
it's
see
a
you
pleasure.
again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone. Don't forget, get a hold of us here at Travels with Jack. We'd love to have you share your photos with our audience.